What is up, guys? Scott Tanic1 back again with another video here. This time, I'm going to do a response to Pat GroundZeroSalem. Everyone knows Pat. That's a YouTuber, man. Anyone who's in the YouTubing metal community should know Pat and Pat's channel. Like I said, GroundZeroSalem. And he came up with a really good topic for a video slash discussion, kind of. And this might be a lengthy video, because it's kind of like an opinion piece, and it's actually entitled Evolving Opinions. This can go either way on the board from what I understood, from what I took from Pat's video. And yeah, man, it's pretty much just music that at one time you loved and can't, it just doesn't hold up to you, or stuff that you never really gave the time of day because of, your opinion of the music at the time, and just never checked out. And yeah, man, go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and get started with one of the good sides of things here. And like I was saying, bands you heard of back in the day, listened to like one thing and just didn't get into. So for me, that was Death, man. I heard Symbolic, and I pulled fucking Scream Bloody Gore and Leprosy, being the fact that they're two most classic and basically their best shit. But anyway, yeah, man, I didn't really get into Death when I first heard them. I heard Symbolic, it was too proggy for me. I was more of a Deicide, Morbid Angel guy, so I was just like, nah, and just didn't listen to the stuff. And then came back, several years later, and man, fuck, now I love Death. I've got vinyl, almost all their discography. There's a certain point of their discography I kind of cut off on, because I still genuinely do not like those albums, so I'm not gonna, fork out money to put them in the collection. But yeah, man, Death, a band I just thought, oh, by the way, since I, went off running in the mouth before fucking even introing what we was listening to in the background, it's been a classic kind of mood for me lately. So yeah, man, Bathory, self-titled. Anyway, back to Death. Fucking, yeah, man, I just didn't get into them when I first heard them. And now, man, I fucking love the band. And yeah, starting off on a positive note. And then we're going to go to something a little more negative that I got here to say. This might be a controversial opinion, but this is a band I can absolutely do without. And that is Mastodon. A lot of people love Mastodon. I get it. They're a proggy, fucking pretentious fucking ass band. But to me, these two albums are the only thing worth having. Everything else, in my opinion, is completely boring. I don't like it. I don't like the production. I really don't like the dudes that are in this band. They're kind of pretentious and fucking egotistical. I mean, I get it. You have a good reason to have an ego, guys. You guys are in a pretty big, major band, but I just don't dig that, man. Fuck these guys. But yeah, great albums, man. When I first heard Mastodon, when I first heard this, I was hooked, man. I was like, wow, what a great idea. Fucking metal concept album about Moby Dick, and just fell in love with this shit, man. Then, not too long after that, the follow-up came out, Blood Mountain, which I also enjoy quite a bit. But after this stuff, after the third, I'm not going to say the third album, I think it's their fourth album. The album that comes after this one, total departure, leave all the great metal behind. And yeah, many times friends of mine have been like, man, just go back and listen to this and go back and listen to that. And I'm like, that I tried, but I'm just like, it's ingrained in me now that pretty much fuck these dudes. But yeah, man, overrated as fuck, I think. Overrated as fuck, man. No one gives a shit. I don't give a shit. Anyone in listening to Metal Underground does not give a shit about that band, probably. But power metal. Never was a big fan of power metal, man. I thought it was too cheesy, too gaudy, too much like Manowar. Like, Manowar is the band that totally turned me off power metal with, the fucking crazy album covers with them and loincloths and shit. But, there's other greats in the genre. Like, I've, recently discovered this stuff. But some of my favorite stuff in power metal is these two bands here, which are pretty much similar bands. We got Blind Guardian and Demons and Wizards. This shit is fucking amazing, man. I fucking, like I said, did not dig on power metal whatsoever. Couldn't get into the genre. And then some things happened, and then I discovered Halloween. And then just randomly in the playlist on YouTube, man, Demons Wizards came up. And fucking, oh man. I'm going to go into these guys a little bit more when I show off what I got of theirs. But this album came on, which is Touched by the Crimson King. And I was hooked. And then Blind Guardian came up next with fucking, I can't remember what song it was. I'm thinking it was, damn it, which one was it? Maybe Nightfall? I think Nightfall from this, because, you know, of course, is Nightfall from Middle Earth. But yeah, was totally in the fucking these bands now, man. I'm fucking all about this shit. They got a lot of stuff, so it's kind of hard to build a collection. But yeah, man. Blind Guardian, power metal in general, man. That shit is just fucking amazing. And then we get to more stuff that, you know, I thought was fucking great at the time. And now it's still good music. It's still good metal. It still takes me back to a nostalgic place in my life. But yeah, man. Tool. I picked out my two favorites. I mean, I've got everything up to Lateralis. After Lateralis, I fell off. But I picked my two favorites, the Opiate EP and Anima. But talk about pretentious, man, since I was talking about Mastodon earlier. These guys are the kings of pretension, man. And their fan base is another thing that's kind of puts a detriment to this band for me. Everyone that's really into this band thinks they're like the be-all, end-all musicians that's ever played any instrument ever, like they're the fucking, like they're Sabbath or something. And no, dude. No. They're just, I mean, yeah, they're good for what they do. I love that fucking packaging on this, man. This is OG too, man. I got this back when this album came out at like a Blockbuster, believe it or not. Blockbuster Video had this, and I fucking bought it because I loved it. I loved the fucking design on it, and I was, you know, shit was all over the radio, and I actually fucking really dig that shit at the time. But yeah, this was like right before I discovered black metals when I was listening to this shit in the 90s. And Opiate, what can you say about Opiate? Fucking great album, man. Both of these albums are great. But the thing is, I never reached for them, being the fact that Tool is just, they're Tool, you know? You've heard it all before. If you were a child of the 90s like I was, you heard more than your fill of Maynard James Keenan and his plethora of fucking projects that were on like all the alternative rock stations, which almost every station had to become alternative rock except one rock station here in St. Louis. They didn't really fall off too much, but yeah, man, it's just, I don't care about this band anymore. A buddy of mine went and seen them not too long ago, you know, like the last time they came through St. Louis, man, and like some guy just gave him the tickets, which was cool by the guy, but he was telling me like it was like $100 a person for those tickets to see Tool, and they were like in like nosebleed sections. They like, you know, they got to see the little teeny tiny Maynard like that big, you know what I'm saying? $100 to see you live. Yeah, dude. Nah. But yeah, Tool. Another band I could really care if I ever hear again or not, to be honest with you. And then, since we're speaking of that, back in the day, man, I was go to this record store when I first started really getting like, you know, enough money to start accumulating a collection. And this was like in my late 20s, man, when I got some of these next CDs and records I'm going to show you guys. But I was talking to the guy at the counter, man. It's like, you know, name me a band that I just, you know, that you think I probably haven't heard of that would be just an amazing band to fucking get into. And he was like, he was an older guy. It's like, man, you really got to check out Merciful Fate, and you got to check out King Diamond. And so I did at his record store. I went and bought 3 albums, actually, but I'm only going to show 2 because I'm going to show the other one in another stack of video. Another stack, and then I'm planning something for the other CD. But I picked up Melissa, Don't Break the Oath, and the one, because he had like, fuck, it was like, this was like 95, 96 maybe. So he had like everything by King Diamond up to like Spider's Lullaby. I wasn't going to buy every fucking thing by the dude. You know what I mean? I'm just now discovering this band. And he's like, get them. Them's the best one. That's my favorite King Diamond album. So I got them. Got them, Melissa, and Don't Break the Oath, because both of these albums fucking slay. But took them home, listened to them, and at the time, I was cursing the fucking dude who sold me this shit. I hated King Diamond's vocals and his fucking vocal delivery. At the time, this was like 95, 96. I was listening to shit like Tool, you know, Marilyn Manson, still Metallica and Slayer. Of course, the death metal stuff like, you know, Morbid Angel, Cannibal Corpse. Not really diving into, you know, OG heavy metal. And yeah, man, I fucking hated these albums when I first heard them. So much so, I didn't get rid of them, which I'm surprised I never got rid of these. As vehemently as I fucking hated this shit when I first heard it. When I first heard it, man, I fucking couldn't stand this stuff. And now, oh my God, I am so glad I never chucked these out the window or not, because I've been a huge fan of like classic shit lately, like a huge binge, and something about it, man. Merciful Fate and King Diamond are totally itching the spots there. And yeah, man, stay tuned for more content on The King and Merciful Fate, because now this is one band I absolutely fucking vehemently did not like it. But now I'm like, I can't believe I disliked that. I can't believe I was that fucking stupid and thought this stuff sucked. This shit is amazing. And like I said, at the time, I was listening to this shit. Marilyn Manson. Now, honestly, these are the 2 albums of his that are only 2 albums of his worth of shit, and that's his debut, Portrait of an American Family, and his legit second album follow-up, not the fucking Smells Like Children EP. I have that as well, but Antichrist Superstar. Forget all the fucking shade and all the bullshit that getting thrown this dude's way now. All his working with Kanye West and all that fucking bullshit. Just to go back and look. This is subpar fucking... There's better industrial metal than this. And I don't know, man. The whole thing with the panic about this guy, I do not get it. If there's ever was someone to say that, well, I'll be the one to say it, that there's ever a huge mainstream metal artist that, in their opinion, was a complete and total fucking pose bag, to me, it would be fucking Marilyn Manson. He's just took what was so cool about Alice Cooper and made it fucking 90s Friends style fucking whatever, dude. Just, I'm over this dude. Can't believe I ever liked this fucking bullshit, to be honest with you. The musicianship is fucking juvenile as fuck. That's sketchy for the sake of being sketchy. Fucking lyric approach and subject matter is fucking laughable now. Especially on this one, man. He was the edgelord of chaos on this motherfucker, man. This is like he wishes he was like in a black metal band, but you know, he's just a fucking douche. And possibly a fucking rapist, fucking disgusting, perverted fuck. I mean, like that's not a warning sign that this dude's a fucking perv, fucking shitbag. But yeah, Marilyn Manson, fuck that guy. Moving along. This is something, man, that I still love to this day, but it's also one of those things that at one time I thought this was like the best album ever. And we're talking about Maiden and fucking The Number of the Beast, man. The Number of the Beast, like, come on, dude. Everyone knows this fucking album. And we all need to kind of be honest with ourselves about this album. There is better Maiden albums than this one, hands down. I don't care what anyone says. This is the most overrated album in Maiden's discography, in my opinion. It's good. It's a classic. I'm not going to dispute that. I'm not going to take... If it's your favorite album, good for you. But, man, there's better shit. Power Slave's better. Fucking Somewhere in Time fucking smokes this, man. Just... It's an album that, you know, I think everyone should have. Don't get me wrong. But it's got some of the weakest deep cuts on it. Like, you know, the deep cuts on, like, Peace of Mind or the deep cuts on, like, Somewhere in Time are fucking classics. Or the deep cuts on here just, like Invaders or fucking Gangland. That's one's just, or fucking Total Eclipse. I mean, deep cuts on Power Slave fucking smoke some of the best fucking songs on this album, which, I mean, come on, dude. Number of the Beast, fucking 22 Acacia Avenue, fucking The Prisoner, I think is the most underrated song on this album. But it's just one of those that I'm just like, kind of overhearing, you know what I mean? It's like the Black Album by Metallica. I just don't care if I ever hear it again. I'm not going to take away from the importance of it. I'm not going to say it's not a classic. If it's your favorite album, that's awesome that that's your favorite album. But to me, there's way better shit in Maiden's discography than this. And this, to me, is kind of a placeholder. But, yeah, man. Controversial hot take opinion there, but it is what it is. Moving along, something I absolutely fucking hated when I first... Along with that Merciful Fate and King Diamond stuff, I just was done with that record store. Danzig 5, Black Acid Devil, man. Fucking hated this when it came out, but now I appreciate what Glenn Danzig was actually trying to do. This is a really good piece of industrial metal, in my opinion. Danzig's got a really unique voice, and this bluesy take on industrial metal, I think, is some of the most overlooked stuff of this time period of industrial metal in general. It may just be that I'm a Glenn Danzig fanboy, but this album has actually aged well, in my opinion. It's just, I don't know, man. After, you know, the first classic 4 Danzig albums with that classic lineup, then we got this, and it was just like, what the fuck? And at the time, man, I absolutely fucking hated this. Another one that I'm surprised I still have in my collection, man, but I do. And yeah, man, tracks that are fucking amazing on this. Seventh House, title track, fucking See All You Were, fucking my absolute favorite, Hint of Her Blood, a really great cover of Hand of Doom. Yeah, man, go back and check this out. This is the second time I've talked about my regained love for this album in a video. I did this for Matt's contest as well, but this album just keeps popping up in my tastes, man, in my what I feel like listening to today, and I'll just like, you know what, I'll listen to that Black Acid Devil. And yeah, man, one of those that I just regret hating and would now recommend to anybody. And finally, we're going to end on a kind of sort of hot take as well. I got a pair of compilations here. This band's got a huge discography, but in my opinion, this is all you would actually need if you're like a noob. I don't know how you would be a noob. Excuse me. That was kind of weird. I don't know how you would be kind of a noob to this band. They're a classic rock and roll band. Led Zeppelin. The early days. The latter days. Compilation set. Now, these are just greatest hits from, you know, all throughout the Led Zeppelin discography. But, I mean, where I get a hot take on this is just I've heard all these songs so much, and Robert Plant, his vocals are just, I've heard them all before from different bands that do it better, in my opinion. I'm not going to take away anything that this band has ever accomplished for rock, hard rock in general. They are the legends. They are the masters. They've inspired some of my favorite bands. But to me, I'm just kind of like overhearing about Led Zeppelin, I'm over, hearing about how Jimmy Page is the god of guitar. Yeah, we know Jimmy Page is great. Can we move on, please? Jimmy Page is great. All those albums they did were great. I don't care anymore. I've heard them so much. It's like hearing Freebird. You've heard it a billion times. Or Enter Sandman. You've heard it a billion times. So this is stuff like in the collection that I'm like, I would never get rid of any of this stuff. That's the problem of being collector scum. Is like you'll have stuff that you're like, I can't believe I had that. I can't believe I liked that at one point. But you won't get rid of it. You know what I mean? That is the curse of being collector scum. But yeah, man. These are great compilations, by the way. Every song on it is amazing. The track listing, you got Good Times, Bad Times, Stairway to Heaven. Everything you'd ever want to hear by Led Zeppelin is on these two compilations, in my opinion. That's why I never went out and got their discography, because all their best shit is on these two albums. So yeah, man. Led Zeppelin. Another band that I'm just like, alright, they're great, but could give a fuck less if I ever hear again. But there we go, guys. That's the stack of shit I had to show for the contest entry for you, Pat. Fucking Ground Zero Salem. The Evolving Opinions video contest entry. Whatever you want to... Whatever I'm going to call it. It'll be down here in the description, of course. But let me know what you think in the comments, guys. But there's no controversial opinions here. Bad 3 rules. And yeah, man. Hit me up in the comment section. Thanks to Pat GroundZeroSalem for the great video idea. And I'll see you guys in the next video later on.